Good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome live on Just Even Online TV. I'm Ajakaye on your preferred program, Just Politics. Today, I have a person of interest in Kwara State government, the spokesperson of the governor. I have me, Mr. Ajakaye. You're welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. As the spokesperson to the governor, and there are always questions to ask you. Whether today, tomorrow, yesterday, from any moment since your principal became the governor of Kwara State. But the most boggling issue in the political settings of Kwara State today is the just dissolved cabinet. Can you give us an assessment of what that is?
Well, cabinet reshuffle or cabinet dissolution. I know there are two different things actually. But in this case, the dissolution, it is nothing strange in any democracy. Okay, the president and of course the governor have been given the power to hire and fire. Now, that is, they can appoint and they can at the same time say that, okay, gentlemen, you have done very well. We feel a need to bring in more hands or new hands, or even return some of the hands that have been asked to leave. So it is nothing strange. It's routine in any democracy, particularly in our kind of democracy where we have several interests. At the same time, there is always a need for a government to assess itself from time to time to see, okay, let this person go here, let this person go there, okay, let this person take the back seat at the moment. It doesn't mean the person is incompetent, no. But like I told you, we have 16 local governments in Kwara State. We have 193 wards, electoral wards. The interest in Kwara State are as numerous as those wards, if not more. So it depends on what the chief executive feels. From time to time, I say, okay, this person has come from Ward A. Let us bring another person from Ward B. Like I have said, it doesn't mean error of judgment on both ends. That is, on the side of the government or on the side of the appointee. When I say it doesn't mean error of judgment, even some people may say, oh, okay, you appointed them and then he's asking them to go, does that mean they're not competent? No, far from it. I've just told you that we have several talents, we have several prominent people who can occupy any position in this country, not just in Kwara State, okay? Including our commissioners who were part of the dissolved cabinet. But like I have said, from time to time, the governor has that constitutional mandate, the constitutional privilege to hire appointees, commissioners, special advisors, senior special assistant, board members, and what have you. So, except in situations where you have statutory boards, statutory commissions, whose appointees are meant to enjoy some kind of tenure. But when it comes to commissioner, special advisor, even CPS or something, so the governor can say, okay, gentlemen, you have done very well. I will feel a need to give another person a chance to also put their little. So it is nothing strange. It's routine in democracy.
Thank you very much, sir. But just to avoid the semantic confusion, are we going to call this a dissolution or what do we call it, a rejigging? Because from what is attainable in the media, almost
it's a dissolution.
All right, sir.
It's a dissolution.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So now there have been a lot of things. There have been a lot of analysis on the dissolved cabinet. Like some people are saying that our governor is one of the last governors to pronounce the cabinet in Nigeria, and then one of the first to dissolve the cabinet in Nigeria. Can we say that from some of the most popular analysis is that we don't have our best brains, or let me say best hands, as Kwarans, even not hiring somebody out from the outside. I would say the governor has gone through them and have seen that we have better hands that can come on board to make good things happen, to make the good things going on. Can we sum it up like that?
Let me ask you a question. Who are our best hands?
For me personally, as a Kwara, when we talk about best hand, I understand the governor is a human being like me, and now that he's a governor, you start seeing things he has not been seen before. What I'm saying is that maybe, just an assumption, just an analysis from different angle, maybe the has seen better hands to help him in driving the state.
See, my brother, we're in the middle of the world. When you say that you are the best, when you claim that you are the best in a particular place, it's because you have not seen somebody that is better than you. Or it possibly means your exposure is itself restricted. I'm not referring to you now. I'm talking generally. Okay? Any individual, wherever you may have gone to, you may have brought them from, we are in the middle of the world. The Yoruba people will say, Anya Ilawa. Okay? You can't say, I'm the best. You can't say, I'm the worst. Okay? The most important thing in life is that when you are given an opportunity, you should use that opportunity for the best of humanity, to serve humanity. And in this case, I can say that our commissioners, that's our cabinet members, have done their best. And there's no way you can go in this state where you cannot feel the impact of government. Whether in the health sector, whether in the education sector, whether you talk about provision of water, whether you talk about social protection, this administration has done very well. And we are proud of what His Excellency has done. We are proud of what our commissioners have done. They have done their best. They are Kwarans. They were picked to represent their respective constituencies. And to the best of our knowledge, they haven't done badly. They have done their best. Yeah, it is the prerogative of His Excellency to say, all of you, you can come back. It is his prerogative to say, okay, I'm looking at another electoral ward. I'm looking at another constituency to bring forth their own representative to serve in the cabinet. So it has nothing to do with, oh, we are the best, we are this, and what have you. There is not a single human being, there was not a single member of that cabinet that you can say, you want to rubbish. They did their best. Okay? Like I have said, we are in the middle of the war. The most important thing is that the room of improvement is always open, is constantly open. And all our commissioners, all our special advisors did their best to serve the state. And we pray to Almighty God to reward them.
I think before we leave this issue of cabinet dissolution, can we just say, you said they did their best. Would you say that their best is enough?
I'll just mention something to you. Even in the best of democracies, when you talk about the United States, we're just seeing what has happened. Okay? We are just seeing how, if care is not taken, an institution could be messed up. Alright? But even in those crimes, they always seek to improve on what they have achieved. So the question of whether their best is enough or their best is not enough does not arise. No matter what anybody has done, there's always a room for improvement. And that is the point.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And on that, Now let's go to one of the most pressing issues of the day in Kwara. Talking about the Kwara polity, when we talk about the sunset teachers, this issue has been lingering for almost 2 years in the Kwara polity now. And then if I will quote, let me say I will quote the spokesperson of the government this time around. That person said the governor will resolve the issue in such a way that both the teachers nor the government will be injured. That was the statement. And now the following day, we heard that some people were being laid off, and then like a week later, there was a statement about them, about every Kwaran, every qualified Kwaran having the opportunity to register and come back to fill the void. And then there was this issue of if you are fit, it's a kind of survival of the fittest. If you are fit, register again, you can get back. What will you say about this issue of the laying off of the these so-called sunset teachers? Can you give us a background to that?
You quoted me as saying that nobody will be injured. See, if we take a deep breath and we detach ourselves from sentiment, you will discover that what the government has done is the best in the circumstance, is the best for the state. At the same time, we have also asked those people who feel strongly that they are qualified, that they are competent, to put their heart in the ring. The process is ongoing now. I'm sure your medium, as I've been following it, is very, very transparent. Anybody, any Kwaran, or anybody who lives in Kwara, and they feel that they are qualified and competent to teach, we have asked them to please signify by applying online, and the government will pick the best of them to take our children. This is about the future of the state. This is about the future of the state. See, you can play with anything. You can play politics with every other thing, but you cannot play politics with education. Okay? A situation whereby somebody sat in his house and they had appointment letter, teaching appointment, given to them on platter of gold without them going through normal process. I know Kwara will tell you that was what happened. See, that process cannot be said to be fair. Even then, the government made an attempt to correct the anomaly. But we have the same thing almost playing out. To the extent that after some 1,658 were clear, so to speak, to continue with their job, we had a situation whereby additional 594, and another 162 were added to the payroll, contrary to the approval earlier given. You will recall also that if you check the approval given by His Excellency the former governor, the approval was for the employment of 1,100 teachers in specific subject areas: mathematics, English, and sciences. That is what the approval said. But we ended up with 2,440. We should ask ourselves, how did we get there? I'm sure you know that's a case of impunity. That's a case of our society not adhering to basic rules. Now, but even then, like I said earlier, His Excellency, the incumbent governor, attempted to cleanse the system by saying, okay, all of you, please go through screening. But even then, we found out, after investigation, that persons with secondary school leaving certificate, persons with ordinary national diploma without teaching qualifications, persons with degree, that is BSc or BA, without teaching certificate. I'm talking about BA here, okay? Finding them their ways into the system. That is not fair. Now, it's not just unfair to the government, no. It is even unfair to those teachers themselves. It is unfair to our children, because we are talking about people who will become our doctors tomorrow, people who are going to become our engineers, people who are going to become journalists. Okay? You can imagine how on earth would you imagine that a journalist is unable to write a simple sentence? How did they get there? See, anybody can play with not being able to write simple sentences. I'm not a journalist, not a teacher. So, and that begins with the quality of our teachers. Now, with due respect, I'm not saying all those people are incompetent. I am not saying that. I need to make that clarification because some persons might interpret what I have said. I'm not saying everybody was incompetent. No. Which is why we are saying, if you think strongly that you are truly qualified, please come forward and enroll. We are not going to discriminate against anybody. We are not going to shut the door against anybody. As a matter of fact, personally, I see a situation whereby many of these so-called sunset workers, and I'm not trying to denigrate them by the use of that word, I'm just using that as a description. I see a situation whereby many of them may best their contemporaries, may beat them to the slot. How? That is, those of them who are truly qualified and competent, because one, they are qualified, okay? Two, they are competent. Look, there is a world of difference between being qualified and being competent, okay? You have situations in most cases where somebody is qualified, but when you subject them to basic drilling, you see that they are not competent. They are two different things. So when you are qualified, when you are competent, and of course you've been in the classroom before. So when you write the exam, when you appear for the interview, there is that likelihood, there is that probability that you are going to come ahead of somebody who has not been to the classroom before, because you have the experience, and you have the qualification, and you have the competence. And in fact, at that stage, they can even make a case for themselves. Now look, if the government has set a benchmark, a threshold, and you have any one of them who has crossed that threshold, I don't find it strange if they come up to say, hey, at the end of everything, maybe the government has registered, say, 50,000. And then after screening, after the interview, you have over 10,000 people who are very qualified, who are very competent. At that stage, I would expect that some of them will come forward to say, okay, we have crossed the threshold of merit. And you are certain now that the entire process that you have set up, we have passed through it and we have excelled. But we have more people, which is a scenario that may likely come up. Can you please consider us? At that stage, government may be forced to say, Abba, what else do we want? If all we wanted merit and what have you, then let us consider them. I think it is at that stage that people will be confident to say, oh, we truly merited the job in the first instance. But a situation whereby just anybody was signed. Let me say this again. Everybody who was registered will go through the CBT as computer-based test. After that, you are going to appear for interview. And of course, the panels, which His Excellency has made very clear, will be very independent, would decide some other criteria to pick the people they feel are competent enough to be in our classroom. So it's going to be merit-based.
All right,
it's
thank
going
you,
to be
sir.
thorough.
Thank you, sir. You started your statement with the issue of some people sitting in the comfort of their rooms, getting the appointment letters, and then some people really being competent. Why don't we say in such a way that should we blame the system? Because you made it clear that the immediate past governor approved for a certain amount, but in the process, I think over 50% of the amount approved was added. Should we blame the system, the civil servants? If we are to blame the system and the civil servants, how have the government been preparing to block such loopholes for a sort of reoccurrence, against a sort of reoccurrence? And if you are to blame the people, maybe the people are not ready to go through normal process. Maybe might be our culture. I know you understand what I'm trying to say. How have you planned to tackle those such loopholes?
Well, we are doing our best within the circumstances we found ourselves to ensure that the process is thorough and the process is transparent, which is why we have introduced CBT. Okay? And we are going as far as ensuring that, of course, when it is CBT, it's going to be marked by the system. Okay? And rest assured that we are using the best of the best in town, because we are using DAM accredited centers. That tells you something. That we are not interested in influencing anything. We want the best people to emerge. Now, so if the system was responsible, just as I gave you an example of some people sitting in the comfort of their rooms and getting an appointment letter to teach, okay? That is not going to happen. Because everybody is now on the field, everybody is going to go through a process, and that process will follow up only the best. Okay? So, after you have emerged and you are picked, you know that everybody is certain. That is our parents now. They will be certain that whoever that is taking their children is truly qualified and competent. Okay? Now, we want to end a situation whereby people treat our public schools as the last option. We want to end that process in that situation in Kwara State. It's unfortunate that today, when people take their children to public schools, it's most likely because they cannot afford tuition in private schools. That is unacceptable, because many of our parents, many of those people we look up to today, they all went through the public school. We want to restore that glory, particularly in Kwara. Kwara used to lead in the entire northern region. Okay? There are several people, some of them are late now, some of them are still alive, who led the northern Nigeria in various sectors of the economy. So we are trying to ensure that we make the process thorough and difficult for anyone to manipulate. Now, you spoke about what happened in the past where the civil servant were responsible and what they did. You see, I think we are past the stage of allocating blames. Government has acted when it ought to. Some persons were suspended, some are being investigated in relation to what has happened. But we have put all of that behind us now. We are moving forward. And moving forward, we want to ensure that we get the best.
Well, thank you very much. And now I think our time is almost fast spent, so we'll lump two questions in one.
Yeah.
Please, we want to talk about this thing we're talking about. I mean, this recruitment, it has to do with SUBEB and TESCOM. And we know that SUBEB is under the purgatory of the state government, and the army has, pardon me, the TESCOM is under the purgatory of the state government, while the SUBEB is under the purgatory of the local government. And I want to ask this, who is in charge of the SUBEB recruitment?
At the level of SUBEB now, you have officials who are managed SUBEB, and they are in charge of the process. When you go to TESCOM, you have officials there, and they are in charge of the process. They are working together as a team. You have an independent team from SUBEB, from TESCOM, and of course from independent bodies, working together to ensure that we get the best out of the process.
Alright, so I think to make this thing clear, you agree with me that normally in Kwara State we should have had local government election, and there is a sort of vacuum that we're having currently.
Yeah, we have vacuum at the political level.
At the political level, yes, I understand. I know there are cases in court, everybody understands that. As a Yoruba man, they will say, Yoruba people will say, Akifari Lenyolori. And the thing is that if there is the success, if there is a success at the level of the SUBEB, who will take the accolade? And if there is a failure, who will take the blame? Because not legally, or let me say even politically, there's this question of who is handling the local government. So what I'm saying in the recent is that this question will always come up. We'll say who is handling the local government recruitment?
I have mentioned that to you.
Alright, it's a teamwork between TESCOM and SUBEB.
SUBEB, yes.
Thank you very much, sir. And then, if I'm going to make myself clearer.
Better.
Alright. Thank you very much. The governor gave the governor gave the approval for recruitment at the TESCOM level. Who gave the approval for recruitment at the SUBEB level?
In the first instance, let me ask you this again.
Alright, sir.
When the state was to pay counterpart funds for SUBEB, who paid it?
Yes, it's a sort of joint work from the SUBEB level and the TESCOM level. Then the government will have to be the face.
What the government has done what the law allows the government to do.
Sir, are we talking about the governor or the government?
The governor heads the government.
Okay, what we're saying in essence is that the governor has the purgatory on the SUBEB. He can approve for recruitment at the SUBEB level too.
Yeah, the law allows that.
Alright, thank you very much, sir.
But the process is that, you see, the governor only approved. And I mentioned something to you earlier. I don't know whether you took notice of that. That the former governor gave approval for recruitment of 1,100 SUBEB teachers. The governor, not local government chairman. Okay? So, if the governor is giving an approval for recruitment of 4,701 teachers now, that is 2,000 for TESCOM, the remainder for SUBEB. No law has been breached.
I understand. What I'm saying is this. I'm not saying any law is being breached here.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand. I just want the audience to understand this.
Yeah.
If the governor back then, the former governor has given an approval when we had elected local government chairman, and then I think that would have been a sort of mutual understanding between the government at the state and the local government level.
You see, when you look at SUBEB is a special purpose vehicle for basic education in the country. Okay? It's a special vehicle for elementary education.
But placed under the caprices of the local government.
Hold on. I asked you a question earlier. When the counterpart funds, 7.1 billion naira was paid, who paid it? The state government paid the money. That is the law. So the governor can lawfully give approval for recruitment for suburb teachers. Hold on. But it's a process which started from the suburb. The suburb wrote to His Excellency the Governor to say, we have shortfalls of XYZ mathematics teacher, we have shortfalls of ABCD economics teacher, or call it English teacher. You get the point now. Across the local government, across the 16 local government, across the state. And they sent their requisition to the governor for approval to engage, to recruit. Alright? It is that request that the governor
is acting upon.
Approved.
Alright, so what I'm saying is that if we had local government, elected local government chairman in place, would they have written the governor in the first place?
Yes.
Alright.
Suburb would have written the governor.
Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Rafiu Ajakaye. Thank you very much for your time. Now we'll come to the end of this show. Thank you very much for being with us for the last 30 minutes. I'm your host, Ajakaye once again. Thanks for listening.